This video is brought to you by PITAKA. Today, I'll be comparing the Apple iPhone 15 Pro Max versus the Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra. Now, these are arguably the best smartphones out right now, and I know that comparing the two is a dangerous thing to do, but I have extensively used each of these, and today we're going to look at the similarities and differences to ultimately help you decide which of these two is right for you. But first, I am giving away this brand new iPhone 15, and for a chance to win, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and subscribe to my second channel, TechBook by Dion, link below. Then leave a comment with your Instagram username and follow me on Instagram at Dion Schuddeboom, where I'll announce the winner on the 29th of December. The 15 Pro Max with 256 gigabytes comes in at $1,199 or 1,199 pounds, and the S23 Ultra with the same storage comes in at $1,199 or 1,249 pounds, but since it's been out for a while, you don't have to look far to find it for less. Each phone takes its own approach to the design. So the 15 Pro Max is made of titanium and glass, where the S23 Ultra uses aluminum and glass. In the hand, the 15 Pro Max, thanks to its curved edges going around the frame, feels nicer to hold, especially in landscape mode, where the more squared off corners on the Ultra can definitely dig into your palm. Plus, since the 15 Pro Max uses titanium, it is also noticeably lighter, making this large phone a little bit less large. The matte glass back on both phones does a good job at resisting fingerprints and scratches, keeping your phones looking new, and I really love the colors. To me, these are actually the best colors for each phone. So I've got the 15 Pro Max here in natural titanium and the Galaxy S23 Ultra here in green. Of course, if you are after a more low-key look, you can also get them in space black and bantam black. Looking at the camera modules, I actually prefer Samsung's approach, where the rings going around the cameras actually rise above the lenses to protect them from scratches, say placing it on a table, unlike on the iPhone where the lenses are more exposed. On the frame of the 15 Pro Max is a brand new customizable action button. It's a handy way to quickly activate the torch. However, on the S23 Ultra, you can also customize a double tap of the power button to pretty much achieve the same thing. One of the most unique features, though, of the S23 Ultra is the S Pen. Now, how often you use it will vary. Personally, I use it on occasion to take a note quickly right on the lock screen, or say to write in my calendar, the old-fashioned way. All in all, these are both really well-made, good-looking, and premium phones, but ultimately, I prefer the look and especially the feel in the hand of the 15 Pro Max. To me, it also looks more premium and is definitely more comfortable to use and carry with you day to day. So both the 15 Pro Max and the S23 Ultra have OLED displays, each with an adaptable 1 to 120 Hz refresh rate, so you get buttery smooth animations and still pretty efficient when looking at a static image. However, where they differ is in the size and in the shape. So the 15 Pro Max has a 6.7-inch display, which is a little bit smaller compared to the 6.8-inch display of the S23 Ultra. Plus, the S23 Ultra's display is also noticeably taller, and this is great for reading articles or split-screen multitasking, a feature I absolutely love to use and really do miss on the iPhone. Out of the box, comparing the colors, I have found that the display of the 15 Pro Max is a little bit more true to life, and this is great for photo editing or watching videos, where on the Ultra, it's a little bit more saturated, which in gaming really does help bring your worlds to life. Outdoors, the 15 Pro Max gets roughly 15% brighter compared to the S23 Ultra, which in the sun does make a noticeable difference. But on the other hand, though, the display on the 23 Ultra is a little bit sharper, but this is a difference that is so small, you're not really going to see it from a normal viewing distance. In terms of display quality, I give this category a tie. Samsung makes truly impeccable displays, and this actually includes the panel that is on the 15 Pro Max, and you can't really go wrong with either. I think this more comes down to which size and shape you prefer. A big difference between these two phones is the approach to the front camera, where the 15 Pro Max has the dynamic island. This is a really handy way to quickly see app info or to switch between apps, but this does take up significantly more screen space when compared to the punch hole camera that you'll find on the S23 Ultra. Now, to be fair, the dynamic island also houses Face ID, which is by far the most accurate and reliable face unlock in any phone. But at the same time, the under-screen fingerprint sensor on the S23 is also great. Which do I prefer? Honestly, I'd rather take both. I like the features of the dynamic island, but the seamless and truly effortless integration of the under-screen fingerprint sensor on the Ultra is great too. I'll give this category a tie. Before we talk about camera and performance and longevity, which are some of the areas where these two phones actually differ the most, let me introduce you to the MagEZ Case Pro 4 for the iPhone 15 Pro series from PITAKA. This aramid fiber case is for those looking for some serious drop protection. The MagEZ Case Pro 4 is made using a unique manufacturing process called 3D injection molding labeling, and this actually connects two materials, both the TPU and the aramid fiber, and this gives you the best of both. You get the rigidity of the aramid fiber, but then also the impact absorption of the TPU. To add to that, in the frame, there's also pockets of air and a soft lining on the inside, as well as a metal camera ring and buttons and raised edges going around the display. And together, all of this enables all-round military-grade drop protection. And yet, even with all this protection, the case is still very slim and not bulky like with many other protective cases. If you're looking for an even slimmer case, you'll want to check out the super thin and light MagEZ Case 4. Now, this comes in at just 0.95 millimeters and weighs just 17 grams, and like the MagEZ Case Pro 4, it is also made from durable aramid fiber to give that really unique look and also a nice grippy texture, and is also fully MagSafe compatible. To me, the MagEZ Case Pro 4 with its military-grade drop protection is perfect for those travel days or when you're out on the go, where the MagEZ Case 4 is ideal for normal use thanks to its super thin and caseless feel in the hand. To learn more about both the MagEZ Case Pro 4 and the MagEZ Case 4 from PITAKA, be sure to click the links in the description. These phones have amongst, if not the best smartphone camera systems out right now. So the 15 Pro Max features a triple lens camera system, where the S23 Ultra has a 4-lens camera setup. The S23 Ultra has an impressive 200 megapixel main sensor, but megapixels aren't everything. In fact, the 48 megapixel main sensor on the 15 Pro Max, in part thanks to being larger, in most scenarios actually outperforms that of the S23 Ultra, with better sharpness and detail, and you can really see this when you zoom in. The 15 Pro Max also has a more true-to-life color profile, where the Ultra at times oversaturates the color. In lower light scenarios, the 15 Pro Max also produces less noise, and the Ultra often overbrightens the image, sacrificing depth and quality. Performance of the main wide-angle lens is crucial, since this is the lens you're most likely going to use most often. Switching to the ultra-wide lenses, I actually found the S23 Ultra to have more dynamic range and to be slightly sharper. When it comes to the telephoto lenses, the S23 Ultra has two, a 3x and a 10x telephoto, which is super impressive to see this level of optical zoom on a smartphone. By comparison, the 15 Pro Max has one 5x telephoto. Unsurprisingly, at 3x, the S23 Ultra is better, at 5x, the 15 Pro Max is, and at 10x, the S23 is again. That said, having more options on the S23 Ultra is great, and the 10x is ideal for content or nature photography. Selfies on both are excellent. Skin tones are a bit more accurate on the iPhone. However, the S23 Ultra gives a nicer, more shallow depth of field. When it comes to video, both can film 4K at 60 FPS, but the S23 Ultra can go up to 8K. However, like with megapixels, resolution isn't everything. The 15 Pro Max outperforms the S23 Ultra in video, more smoothly adjusting to changes in exposure and focus. Plus, you can also switch between lenses while filming, not possible on the Ultra. Deciding what makes a good image involves an element of personal preference. However, the 15 Pro Max's camera system is objectively better when it comes to detail, dynamic range, as well as how it handles colors, and this results in better photos and videos overall, which is why, all things considered, the 15 Pro Max takes this category. Let's talk about battery life. Now, if you're choosing a larger phone like this, chances are battery life is going to be important to you too. Thankfully, both the 15 Pro Max as well as the S23 Ultra deliver very strong battery life. Both get me around 7 to 9 hours of screen on time, which translates to all day use. And even with lighter use, I can stretch it to 1.5 to 2 days, something I absolutely love. Both phones also use USB-C, finally Apple. However, the S23 Ultra does charge faster at 45 watts compared to 20 watts on the 15 Pro Max. The S23 Ultra also offers reverse wireless charging, a great way to charge your AirPods. On the other hand, though, the 15 Pro Max does have MagSafe, and this is a super easy way to align and wirelessly charge. Plus, you can also attach accessories like, say, wallets or battery banks. I think both phones here offer similarly great battery life and each bring their own additional features when it comes to charging, so this category is a tie. When spending over a K on a phone, I expect top-of-the-line performance, and both the iPhone 15 Pro Max's A17 Pro chip as well as the S23 Ultra's Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 chip are best in class. Whether you're messaging, watching videos, editing photos, playing games, and more, both phones are absolutely super fast and keep up. However, in benchmarks, the 15 Pro Max does score higher both in GPU and CPU scores, and in games, it also gets full console-level games, and this includes Resident Evil. And to me, this really demonstrates just how powerful this A17 Pro chip is. Plus, on the iPhone, since Apple make both the hardware as well as the software, what you get is truly an unmatched level of integration, which means that ultimately the experience on iPhone is just more fluid and cohesive overall, especially when you also take into account how incredibly well the iPhone integrates into the Apple ecosystem, which is why the iPhone 15 Pro Max takes this category. These phones are big investments that should last. Now, Apple are known for their longevity, and I would expect another 6 to 7 years of updates for the 15 Pro Max. However, Samsung have been stepping up, offering 4 years of operating system updates and 5 years of security updates for the S23 Ultra. Still, the iPhone 15 Pro Max does get more years of software support, meaning it will last longer, and iPhones also hold their value better. This means you'll get more money back if you choose to sell down the road and then upgrade in the future. So, which phone is best? Well, let's break it down. Looking at the most important pillars of a smartphone that we explore today, while in some categories they do tie, the 15 Pro Max clearly takes more wins. And I find it really interesting to see how this compares to when I compared the 14 Pro Max to the S23 Ultra, where previously, up to this point, this was actually a tie. And this to me really shows that Apple have improved on the shortcomings of the 14 Pro Max, particularly in the design and the ergonomics. But there is still one category left, and that is operating systems. Now, comparing operating systems can be a full video on its own, but what this ultimately comes down to, I think, is this. iOS is ultimately the even more stable and smooth to use operating system, where Android allows for more customization and features, especially split screen. Apple, please finally bring this to iPhone. As a content creator who is in the Apple ecosystem with my Apple Watch as well as my Macs, and who uses my phone for both personal as well as work use, reliability and interconnectivity between devices is key. And this is why for me, iOS and ultimately the iPhone 15 Pro Max is the better choice. But the S23 Ultra is an impressive phone, and Samsung, I really think, are on a good trajectory, and this makes me excited for the future to see what the upcoming S24 Ultra will bring to the table. If you want to get the most out of your phone in terms of features, battery life, as well as performance, then be sure to check out my first 10 things to do videos for both the iPhone as well as the Galaxy phones, which I'll leave linked on screen right now. Let me know if you have any questions at all. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.